Hey guys, I'm Mark. Welcome back to the shop. In today's video, we are going to talk about the newest tool in the shop, which is a large format CO2 laser from Trotec. Now, I had one of these before, and it was from a different brand, and it did not go well. So, if you're in the market for one for yourself, you probably want to check out my other video that I just launched at the exact same time as this one, about that horror story that I had involving buying and getting rid of a bad laser. So, watch this one, then go check that one out. There's a link down below. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we are here to talk about a new tool. You've probably seen in some previous videos I've been using a CO2 laser, a very large one, and I struggled with it. Not that I couldn't run the machine didn't want to run. I'm finally rid of it, and now I have a much higher quality version of that kind of tool here. This is a 100-watt CO2 laser from Trotec, and today we're going to go through the bells and whistles of it, and I also have somebody from Trotec here on site to help me out and show me the ins and outs and really get it up and running. So, Christopher, come on in here and tell me a little bit about this thing.
Thanks, Mark. Hey, really glad to be here at Gunflint Designs. My name is Christopher Smith and I'm with Trotec Lasers. As Mark said before, this is our R400. This is our 100-watt glass tube laser, Austrian engineered, but Trotec supported here in the United States. We're based in Plymouth, Michigan. Glad to be up here in Mapleton, Minnesota. So this is the R400, folks. This is a 40 by 24 inch laser base bed. With a 2-inch laser tube, as you can see in here. We have a RayJet Manager design software that comes with our R400. It can be used with any type of vector graphic software. Mark uses AI. A lot of people might use Corel Draw, but basically you're doing all your vector and your design graphics and any type of a design software as a vector graphic software, as those two as I mentioned.
And I'll be honest, just getting into it, the software maybe made me just a little bit nervous because I've spent the last 2 years learning a completely different software. You're probably familiar with Lightburn. A lot of these CO2 lasers run on Lightburn, or that's one of the preferred ways to use them. So I'm familiar with that, and now I get to learn a new software, and my old man brain doesn't like learning new things. They've been here for 2 hours, and I got it. It's not that hard. It's just different. So we're going to go through the machine a little bit. He's going to teach me a few more things. We're going to engrave some stuff and have fun with it.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
But first, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. This episode of Gunflint Designs is brought to you by an old man yelling at deer.
Hey, you dang freeloaders, you get off my property. I'll tell you what, you go get yourself a job, you go buy your own corn. Come on, get out of here. What are you looking at? Don't be slack, Todd. You get two. You get going. I'm gonna call the sheriff. Dang kids ain't got no respect anymore.
An old man yelling at deer is not a real product. This is not something you can buy, so please do not send money. However, the old man is clearly in need of some psychological support, and everything helps. So if you'd like to help the old man, please visit www.gunflintdesigns.com and buy something. You can also help by buying products from one of the many affiliated companies listed in the description below this video.
So, in my last video, I put out how I made these leather patch hats, and I used a very small desktop CO2 laser, which did a good job, but its working area was so small that I could really only do 1, maybe 2 patches at a time, which is not great for production. This I can do maybe 100 patches at a time. I'm not sure how many actually fit in here when you expand it all the way. So we're just going to run through that really fast. The other interesting thing is, before I was using actual leather using a heat-based adhesive that I had to apply. This is a different product. This is called Leatherette, and it has a heat-activated adhesive already on the back of it. It's basically a sticker that you can iron on and make it permanent. So we're going to start right from here making leather patches, same logo as I did in the last video. And the material's in. What do we do now? How do we get it started?
You know, folks, it's as simple as you can see here, you have a red dot pointer on the 2-inch lens focal laser head here. We've got our material in place. We have a manual focus tool that is used on the R400. And you basically just put that right on the side here. And it's so sensitive that it's designed that when we get to the optimal focal point of 2 inches, it's literally going to fall off. The functionality of the laser has, we can move the head and the XY, but we're basically raising the table up until we get really close here. And as you can see, I believe Mark's kind of showing that, it literally just kind of falls off. And so now we have a laser that's focused. We're all set to go. We can move our material around if we want, or we can literally come over to the control of the laser over here and pick our spot using the red dot pointer that's going to show us where our image or our engraving is going to be.
So this is the software, and we've got all of our stuff loaded in here, and I'm not going to go into detail about how that works right now. This is a good time to point out, Trotec has a really good YouTube channel that walks through all of this cool stuff. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to try to reteach you something I'm just learning when they have a really, really good tutorial on that channel. So we can jump in here and we can get all of our stuff set up. I'm still kind of fat fingering the trackpad here, but we're good to go. What's cool is this crosshair here is showing where the laser is. So if I move the laser head, that crosshair moves. So when you set this to the spot that you want to engrave from, and I can see my material is a little rolled up here. That's a little better. So now I have artwork and I have a 0 spot. I can drag this and it'll actually snap it to that spot, and we're good to go. We've set all of our settings. Everything's ready to go. All I have to do is hit start and it's gonna go, but I'm gonna go plug in the blower first. So now it's a little noisier in here. We've got the exhaust fan blowing and we have the air pump pumping. And now I just hit start and it gets off and running. So we finished up, we cut free. We'll go clean this up and see what it looks like. So here's our result. Nice and clean and quick. Quick being the key word here. The last video I did with that little 40 water, it did a clean job, but it was very, very slow to get it done. This was at least half the time. And now I can put a whole bunch more in the machine at once and get it done in half the time for each one. That's gonna cut way down on production, so when I start making hats for people like you guys who wanna order hats from me, right? Send me a message. We can do it fast and clean and really be good to go. So when this thing got delivered, FedEx backed it right up to the shop, put it on the ground, rolled it in here, I took it out of the crate. It pretty much looked as you see it now, and everything I needed to make it go was sitting here. From my last laser experience, I spent a considerable amount of time aligning mirrors and setting things up from the get-go, which was tedious and unpleasant for somebody who didn't know what they were doing. I kind of expected that going into this. Well, they checked it when Christopher got here, checked the mirrors, and they were spot on from the factory after bouncing down the highway in the truck for 2 days and getting here and unloaded and rolled in, and everything was good to go, so we didn't adjust a mirror at all. That being said, if you do need to, again, their YouTube channel has a really good video on how to align the mirrors, and it's pretty straightforward and easy as long as you follow all the steps. Christopher's gonna be here for the rest of the afternoon. He's gonna teach me some more stuff when we're gonna practice on some more stuff. But for now, he's actually gonna walk me through the maintenance kind of schedule of this thing. What do you need to make sure you're doing to keep this thing up and running and good to go for as long as possible?
Thanks, Mark. I think the key to any laser is just that, maintenance. You have a lens that's dirty, you're not going to get proper engraving or cutting. If the laser's designed to get dirty, right? The particulates, the woods, the plastics, the things that you're using in the laser, all of that material is going to fall down in a base. So one of the key things you want to look at is over time, depending on how much you're using it, you're going to have a lot of debris in the base of the laser. You can easily pop the table grid off and do a little vacuum and wiping down of that, because the last thing you want to do is have a pile of sawdust or a pile of wood. And again, you're using a laser, and if something is a little hot and falls into the base, the last thing you want to do is have a fire in your brand new laser, right? The other thing is very, very important is the cleaning of the lenses. Here we have a 2-inch lens that's here in this barrel. So you unscrew that little barrel, and as you can see, we have a little 2-inch lens that sits right here at the base. And you basically can pull that out, and my suggestion is probably on a daily basis. You're going to use your laser all day long. Then you're going to turn it off, and you're going to go inside and not use it till the next morning. My suggestion is the start of that next shift, the start of that next morning, the start of that next project. Pull out that lens, put it on the lens cleaner and the lens tissues that we provide, and put about 2-3 drops on the lens and just let it sit for a minute or two, and just let that solution kind of take off any of the particulates that may accumulate on that particular lens. As you can see, this is where the lens sits. It too has a little barrel, a little cupping device. You pull that out, and this is where the lens sits, and you can be very gentle. It should pull right out. And that's the lens setup. So as we said, the lens just pulls right on out. The key to this 2-inch lens is the fact that it has a little bevel on one side. The trick of the trade is if you can see your face, your reflection, that is the side that needs to be pointed up. And so that's how you put that lens in. As I said before, you need to be careful with it, because this is really kind of the heart of the laser, right? You have no lens, you're not doing any jobs. So you let it soak for a little bit, you use the tissues that we provide you, and then you do a little cleaning. My suggestion again was before every shift, next day, at least take a look at this lens. Another key optics of this particular laser too is this mirror on top. This should probably be looked at as well, probably every 2, no more than 3 days. Again, you'll know how much you're using your laser. It has a venting system both in the back and a downdraft. You're going to get debris. It's all designed to fall down. The small nozzle is designed not to have a lot of particulates work its way up into the lens. But again, you're dealing with such fine material that you need to clean your lens at least daily, every other day at best. And then probably this top mirror, which simply screws off by these silver pins on the top. You take those off, and that, my suggestion would be at least on 2 to 3 days. And it's the same concept. You'll lay that down on a flat material, put 2-3 drops, let it sit for a little bit. You use your tissue, you fold it over twice, both for the optic lens and the top mirror lens. And you don't want to rub, okay? You're not cleaning glass. If indeed there are any microscopic material on there, you could scratch this highly reflective mirror. You just want to kind of pull that liquid off. Fold it again. You just kind of want to wipe it, and then you want to make sure it kind of is air dry before you put it back. Same with the main lens. It was soaking for a little bit. You fold your tissue a couple times over, and again, you don't want to rub, but you're pulling kind of gently down, wiping it, and you're just using that tissue as to suck up the lens solution on your lens. And that just places right into there. You make sure the barrel's fed. You place that. It screws in. Again, kind of finger tight. The barrel will drop down. There are some threads on top. You thread that. Finger tight, you're good. And then here you're using the guides, and how we had the mirror before. There's little guides with the mirror. It fits one way. And you're just tightening up, finger tight. Don't get too tight. And again, top mirror at least every 3 days. Bottom mirror for the production or the next day after use.
Well, this has been educational for sure. I've been really excited about getting this thing in here because, as I've mentioned enough times now, and I've been quiet about it because I didn't want to upset anyone until I got rid of the old piece of junk. Now that it's gone, I'm really excited to have something new that's going to work, and I appreciate you coming and helping me set this thing up and getting it going.
Oh, it was our pleasure. This is a great machine. There's a lot of people that really enjoy this machine, especially for the woodworkers. It's designed to be a great cutting, as we kind of call it, a great entry gateway into some of the other products that we have at Trotec. But the R400 is a great little shop machine.
All right, well, thank you very much. We'll push a few more buttons, and then you can go catch a plane.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. See you guys. Check back next time. There'll be more laser stuff, and you can't see it, but back behind the camera is some woodworking that you haven't seen in a while because I've been busy with laser stuff. Now I'm gonna have a working laser and I can use it with my woodworking instead of my woodworking. That was redundant. That's how I like to end these things, on nonsense. Bye, guys.